Hello, welcome once again. And as we all know, we've all been in a pandemic for over a year now. Even though it's unplanned, well, we've all started to deal with it. And as you can see, there's so many changes that have been going on in the world currently, including automation of everything, as people do not want to have contact with things anymore for other people. Today, I'll be sharing you my own path, like I'm making a little device that will be controlled by the light intensity. So I could call it a light controlled bulb. So when there's enough daylight, the bulb will stay off, and when it's getting dark and very little light, the bulb will come on or switch on itself. Kind of similar technology that you find on the street lights. Yes, when it gets dark, you see the street light come on by itself. So just stick around and you will see the process, the steps, and how to make them. If you've not seen the previous video where I had to show you a motion sensor, kind of a similar technology where all you have to do is move and you don't really have to have contact with switch. So all the projects lately have been related to no contact, as you don't want everybody going to the same switch, which could also lead to the spread of the disease. All right, stay tuned and watch the steps. So to start with, I'm sure you're wondering, like, of course, the should with the sensor you should show up first. So I'll be talking about LDR. So the brighter the lights illuminating on this, the resistance drops. So the lower the resistance. So as it gets darker, the resistance increases. We'll also need, well, a regular resistor. So I'll be using about 6K ohms resistor in this case. I will need my LED bulb. So I will also need some jumper wires. In this case, I will need a breadboard to assemble all the components. I will also need my battery, which some of you might call a cell. To start with, I usually like to mark my positive on my breadboard. So that's my positive rail, and my negative rail also marked. So next would be the LDR. So I will have it, I like to have one in here and the other here. Next to the resistor that connects. On the resistors to be separated. So you have this resistor connected, already done. I'll be connecting that resistor to positive. So this resistor goes to positive. You find it on a positive rail, that's done. I will also have the components. This is a component I've not mentioned, I've not talked about. This is a transistor, it's a BC547 transistor. So you could use it as a switch to switch higher loads, that's current. So I have this connected separately, standing alone. Then this particular, the midpoint between this LDR and this resistor will go to the base. So when you have the base connected, next is to connect the collector, this point here, to ground. That's the ground rail. Also connect the emitter, this last one, to negative of the LED. The LED has two legs here, two pins. One is short, one is long. This is the short one, this is the long one. The short one is negative. So yes, I'm connecting that to my negative rail. Done. So remember, positive connected to positive. So the left second part of the LED connected to positive. Remember the positive rail in the beginning. So now that this has been sorted, what is left? I need to connect the LDR to -2 over here. So you can see LDR connected to negative. The meeting point between the resistor, the LDR and the resistor goes to the base of the transistor. Then I have the other part of the resistor goes to positive rail. Now that has been done, I have the negative of the negative goes to the collector, then negative from the emitter goes to the left hand side of the LDR. That's the negative. The other side, the longer part, which is positive, goes to the positive rail. Now it's time to connect everything together. So don't forget, this is my negative, and this is my positive. So you could see, until I block the LDR, there is no light here. Pay attention to the bulb. There is brightness, but once I cover the LDR, what happens? Now there's darkness and there's enough light. So you could see how this is daylight, this is night. So if you have a switch and you don't want anybody to actually bother turning on using the switch to reduce the contact of people with the switch, which will also further transmit the virus, you could use an LEDR, just like the street lights, to automate themselves, come on when it's dark, go off or switch off when daylight is restored. So that's just a simple technique on how we could also further reduce contact during this pandemic era with the use of the light sensitive sensor. Thank you for watching, and you can watch the other video that talks about how you could use motion to trigger sensor.